Hello my dear friends and welcome to my channel. My name is Barbara and today we're going to be looking at Saturn in the 11th house. So this video is for you if you do have this placement. If you're a cross watcher, welcome as well. If you're interested in learning even more about Saturn, what it means, I do have a video that I previously recorded talking about Saturn, the placements, the transits, the karma, and what your Saturn return means. So definitely check that out. I'm going to put that in the description box below. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So Saturn in the 11th house. First, we have to understand what Saturn means, and then we're going to look at the 11th house. So Saturn deals with your karma. It deals with rules. It deals with regulations, restrictions. It's going to be an area in your life where you are placed in a restriction of some sort. When you have Saturn passing through here, there's some sort of karma that you have to basically clear, learn, and master. What I've noticed with Saturn is that a lot of the time there is some sort of secret desire that's happening inside, okay? It might not be secret. It could be unconscious. But there's something here that you guys have to learn, you guys have to master, and once you master it, then Saturn rewards you. So the harder that you work at something, especially when Saturn is passing through, the more that you get rewarded later on. That's the whole thing with Saturn. It is ruled by Capricorn. Capricorn is all about climbing to higher heights after it knocks you down several times. So the thing is, you guys have it here in the 11th house. The 11th house is ruled by the sign of Aquarius. So what's Aquarius? Aquarius deals with large groups of people, communities, your friends. It's all about connecting people. The Aquarian house really is all about connecting people. So you guys might have this desire within you, but now Saturn is restricting that for you. It deals with the higher mind, the intellect. So a lot of the time, Aquarian people are going to be very much ahead of their time. They're going to have a lot of ideas that are basically here to propel the collective forward, but it's kind of like you guys basically have to find a way of communicating this. So it's not like you're talking to a wall, if that makes sense, because Saturn is restricting this for you guys, okay? So sometimes you guys might come out with your ideas and it's kind of like you feel like you're not being heard because the collective's not there yet. So the best thing that I learned when I was teaching kids yoga was start at the kids level. So if they're super hyper, you have to start super hyper and then bring them down to be more calm, or vice versa. So that's the thing with the collective as well. A lot of the time, if you have something that is really here to help the collective, propel forward into a more positive direction, and nobody's there yet, it might feel like you're speaking to a wall, because it's like you're speaking these great ideas, but they're not, you're not receiving that recognition you feel like you deserve. And the thing with Saturn in the 11th is it is Aquarius, and Aquarius bounces off of Leo. So the thing is, Leo has the ego that they really have to work through. That's the shadow trait of Leo. But the thing is, Aquarius also has this within themselves as well, but it's more so about their ideas. So when you guys have Saturn here, it's kind of like if you say some sort of idea, you might really feel like if you don't get that recognition, you guys feel like you deserve, you go more into your shell, okay? And you're kind of like, oh, well, again, it's that energy of like, no one's hearing me. I feel like I'm just like speaking to the wall, or I'm speaking into the void, or whatever metaphor you guys want to look at. But that's really the energy that's going on there, because it's like Saturn's restricting this, but that's the energy. It's going to keep knocking you guys down, but it's like you kind of have to stick to whatever your truth is ultimately at the end of the day, because it's like Aquarius is here to connect people with their ideas. It's all about like innovation, new ideas. It can be scientific ideas. It can just be things that are, it's always something humanitarian, okay? Something to propel the collective forward, help humanity basically go into a more positive direction. But that's the thing. So it's like, it is the 11th house, okay? You guys are going to have a little bit more wisdom compared to the other houses within you, because that's just the Aquarian energy. And you guys are probably going to be highly intuitive, like highly just connected psychically, whether you're aware of it or not. Because a lot of the time, these ideas that we do receive are coming, through, they're being channeled. So that's the whole thing when you have Saturn in the 11th house. So it's like, again, you're going to have to figure out a way to basically deliver the message so the people understand it at the level that they're at, and then bring them up with you. That's the whole thing, really, what's going on here when you have Saturn in the 11th. Now, another thing too is because it does deal with large groups of people, you guys might struggle, especially early on in life, with friendships. So the thing is, Saturn can deal with the father. If it's not the father, it can deal with whoever was a predominant masculine role in your life. That's who Saturn is. So Saturn also deals with authorities, because usually our parents are our first authorities. So whoever was in this dominant masculine role when you were growing up maybe restricted this area for you, restricted your ideas. Maybe again, you told your parents your ideas and you were so excited, and again, you didn't get that validation back. So it's like, you might feel like, again, you don't want to express. There's that fear that's connected because it is opposing Leo. Leo has a huge fear of rejection, Saturn in Leo. Saturn in the 5th house. So it's kind of like you guys bounce off of this fear of rejection, but in a different way, where it deals with, again, mental matters, okay, matters of the mind, matters of ideas, and these types of things. So it's really important, you know, when you have Saturn in the 11th house, to write down your ideas, because it's like, it could be something that comes through at a later time, to also not get discouraged. And that's the thing, it's like, because Saturn in the 11th, Aquarius can really deal with the internet as well. You guys could be interested in connecting people through the internet, bringing people to you, connecting communities, and doing something of that sort. But again, if you guys don't get that, you know, recognition back that you guys are seeking, well, then in that case, you might feel, you know, knocked down. But that's the thing, Saturn really rewards you in the end, because it knocks you down. Okay, that's the thing with the Capricorn energy. It keeps knocking you down, because it's kind of like, first of all, are you going to learn the lesson? Are you going to integrate the shadows? And how bad do you want something? That's how I always see Capricorn / Saturn energy. It's like, it keeps pushing you down, but it's like, there's something that you truly want to do, or you truly believe in, or you truly believe in your idea. The thing is, it's like, you have to keep pushing it forward, right? You have to keep pushing it forward. I'm sure if you hear people's success stories back in the day, it's like they had all these failures, and then eventually it kind of ended up, you know, working out for them eventually, right? And it's like, maybe you guys do other things in the meantime. But that's the whole thing here with Saturn in the 11th house. So going back to the friends, as I was mentioning, because again, it deals with the authority figures. When you guys were growing up, maybe you had a parent or parents that restricted your friend groups. There could be an energy of that. And when you guys were growing up, there could have been a lot of different types of people, okay, that were coming in and out of your vicinity. It could have even been like, you know, eccentric, like quirky people, like just like different types of people, which again, it's like you guys are able to communicate with a lot of different types of people. But the catch here with the Aquarian energy is like, if it's not deep, if it's not something that's basically going to create some form of positive impact, they have no interest in this. So let's say you do have a friend or a friend group, and maybe all they want to do is talk about like, you know, reality TV shows, or, you know, whatever the latest trend is in terms of, I don't know, clothes or whatever it is, right? So let's say you have friends who are kind of like more surface level day-to-day people, and it's like, you're kind of like, well, what's the point of this? Like, guys, like, you know, let's work together. So that's the thing. It's like the Saturn in the 11th house is all about bringing people together, but for a reason, okay? Because they want to propel the collective forward. That's the whole thing. Always with Aquarius in your natal chart, okay? The 11th house. This is really the whole thing. It's like, there's no point even engaging in these types of conversations, because for you, it's like a waste of time, energy, and space. It's kind of like, okay, guys, like, you know, let's get together and actually, you know, help humanity in one way, shape, or form, or, you know, make things better, or let's talk about ideas. That's the thing here too. So Saturn might restrict this area for you, like I mentioned early on in life, where it's kind of like, you might even have felt like a loner, even in your groups. That's the thing with the Aquarian energy. It's like, it's just very different. No matter what, you're just always going to be different than people around you. And it's like, you're always kind of seeking that tribe. You know what I mean? It's like, because ultimately all humans want to belong, but it's like, again, it has to have a meaning, and it has to have like a goal or a purpose behind it. So, you know, you might find yourselves in situations with people where it's like, you sit down and it's like, okay, like, let's brainstorm this idea, or whatever, new app, or whatever it is, like anything, again, to propel the collective forward, because it's like, it's futuristic, okay? Thinking ahead, thinking about the future, and it's always going to have this energy with it. Now, another thing that's coming through to mention is that Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, okay? And Uranus is all about sudden, unexpected change. So that's the thing. When you guys were growing up, there could have been these unexpected changes within the home. Maybe you guys moved around. Maybe, again, your parents were inconsistent. That's the thing. And it's like, it's just a lot of the time, it's just going to be some sort of different environment. Or maybe even your parents behaved, you know, differently, whoever was the dominant masculine role. Thing is, whoever the parent was, this is how the authorities are going to be in your life. So your teachers, managers, all these types of people. So it's like, again, there could have been an inconsistent energy with this individual when you guys were growing up, and this could be a theme for you guys, okay? Again, and this could restrict you, because it's kind of like, oh, I thought we were doing it this way, and I'm going to express myself like this, but it's like, now you're not accepting me for being like this, and I don't know how to act. So there could be an energy of that as well. So, you know, what I'm here to tell you guys is recently I've been finding, because the planet frequency is higher, now people are less resistant to healing and their lessons, that usually by your first Saturn return, you're going to learn these lessons, okay, that Saturn is really bringing through, and this area of, you know, challenges. Because I find usually by the time we enter the Saturn return, which usually is age 27, 28 to 30 or 31-ish, okay, depends on your natal chart. But usually around your Saturn return, what tends to happen is, like, I find, first of all, it makes you officially an adult. Okay, that's the way that I see it. And it kind of puts you on your path. So what Saturn return is doing, it's clearing out all of these obstacles that are in the way of you being on your path. So if you're not resistant, it's actually very, very good, because then you don't have to repeat the lessons. When you're resistant to the lesson, unfortunately, it gets harder for you. And that's the thing. There's a saying where it's like, you want to take the path of least resistance. And that's the huge thing when your Saturn return hits. It's like, you really, really want to take whatever the path of least resistance is, because things are being cleared out so you guys can be put on your path. So for you guys, it's going to deal with this area, okay? During your Saturn return, it's going to be friends, it's going to be friend groups, okay? Maybe you're going to be switching your friend groups during this time, okay? Maybe meeting new people, people who are more in alignment with you guys and your ideas. That's the thing. That's the whole thing here to understand with Saturn in the 11th house. It's like, it always has to be people who are here to help you propel the collective forward, or you guys are going to do it together. It's philanthropy, it's humanitarianism. Like, that's really what the Aquarian energy is all about. So I'm going to wrap up this quick little video here on Saturn in the 11th house. I do hope that you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please do like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you all have a beautiful rest of the day.